We are now recording. So Monday Movers, partnering with your host, November 16th. And Becky's going to take it away. It's all yours.
Hi, everyone. So there's actually a few people I don't know. So to introduce myself, I'm Becky, director with Pampered Chef. And this is my first Monday Movers training I've done. So I picked a topic that I'm passionate about, which is host coaching and partnering with your host. So yeah, just going to jump right in there. One thing I love doing before the meetings that Jill's done is talking about what's going right in your business. And it didn't feel right not to start with that. So I'm just going to choose in order, everyone, and just let us know your name and what is going right in your Pampered Chef business. All right, Cheryl, you're at the top of my screen.
Thanks, Becky. Well, I can't remember what you said. But, well, I'm Cheryl Wyatt. I'm also an advanced director on Jill's team. And what is going right is that I love direct ship, and people are shopping for the holidays.
Awesome. What about you, Patty? What is going right in your business?
Everything.
Ooh.
I mean, I like the direct ship too, but I was not part of this before the direct ship. So, but I do like it. And I've got a high school friend that lives way far away from me, and I hardly ever see her anymore, that's hosting. And on the second day of her party, she's over $1,000.
Oh, wow.
That's going right.
Woo! I'm going to unmute and just say, great job.
It's very exciting. What about you, Michaela? What is going right in your Pampered Chef business?
Hi, sorry, I had to unmute you. I'm Michaela, and so far I haven't had a really successful block party, but one of my parties did start up on the orders, so that was a relief. And then I'm also really excited that you don't have to submit your orders as soon as you had to before, so you can leave the parties open.
Yes, I love direct ship too, for sure. Judy, what is going right in your Pampered Chef business?
Well, last week I got 3 parties booked. I have one going right now that's really slow. The host is not really commenting much like I've asked her to, but then the party I have next week, no, in 2 weeks, she's already like so excited and already posting in our Facebook group. So it's going good.
Exciting. So that leaves us with Kayla. What is going right in your Pampered Chef business?
Hi. Something that's going right is I actually got my fast track rewards last week, the first one.
Nice. That's exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's everyone. I'm scrolling up and down, making sure. All right. Jill, I'm sorry. Jill, you're on there. Did you want to tell us what's going right in your business before you start driving?
Sure. What I can think of right now is Pampered Chef is super flexible. So you can go out of town when you want to or need to, like I've done for the last 6 weeks, and still work. And even more so, you can sit in a parking lot in the middle of wherever and and work from here when you need to as well. So, you know, that I definitely appreciate the flexibility and freedom of when people say you can work your business from anywhere. This is definitely one of those anywhere times. And I'd say that's going right because it allows me to keep going.
Awesome. I agree. All right. Well, thanks for sharing, everyone. So I'm going to just jump right in there. Oh, my little arrows aren't showing up for my slides. Let me see if I can. Oh, there they are. All right. So, so starting off is talking about every day begin and end with a positive affirmation. And a quote that says, every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. So I came across an article. I don't know if anyone's known about positive affirmation. It seems like something you would know about, but just with training with Pampered Chef, I really got familiar with positive affirmations and how powerful they can be, not only for your personal business, but also your personal life, just a good way to have a positive mindset about, everything in your life. And so positive affirmations for me is I'm using it to climb out of a negative mindset. Not having, thoughts of self-sabotage in your mind. And I like to think of positive affirmations as not a wish list, like I wish this to be, or just more of a fact statement, like an I am statement, I am successful. And so, yeah, that just, and then one thing I came across was talking about, we do things for our physical health, we go for walks. And so the same thing for our mental health. The quote, your mind will believe whatever you tell it, good or bad. It was really powerful for me when I heard it. Just like, what are you telling yourself? And just really makes sense that whatever you're telling yourself could affect different areas of your life. So just positive affirmations could be something that you start in the morning and at night. I know Jill has said she's done reminders on her phone or something on your mirror, or just a way to just remind yourself to be positive and have those positive thoughts going on. So that is perfect leading into the next slide, being positive and having that translate into that you can be good with your host coaching. And so let me make sure I didn't. So host coaching, so what is host coaching? And so connecting with your host, to me, just really building a genuine connection. And I never think of building a connection as just a part of host coaching, just something we have to do. I really think of connecting with your host. This could be someone that you end up working with. This could be someone that is going to be a customer with you for, however long. So I think building that relationship and connecting is really important to connect with your host. So good communication, I have found it is just very important. I wasn't always having good communication with my host. So just letting them know this is something, if you're doing host coaching or if you've done parties or you're just starting, this is something you're getting familiar with, and they might not have any idea of how it goes. So being able to communicate and build their confidence that they can do this. And that's going to be with just letting them know every step and keeping in contact with them. I also even like not to, like if you have someone that books something ahead of time and, maybe 3 weeks out, I always like to connect, maybe even something that just letting them know, hey, I'm looking forward to working with you this upcoming week. I'm just going to let you know, we're really going to start things off, on Monday. And I look forward to, starting with you. And guidance. So talking about just the communication with what's going on, the guidance, just letting them know that you're going to guide them through this whole process, because it can be overwhelming for someone who's never done a party, never, done anything for themselves. Some people are familiar, but some people aren't. So knowing that they're going to have guidance through their whole party is very important for your host, and partnering with them. So when I think of partnering, you want your host to know that you're going to make this so easy for them and walk them through, but also that it's crucial that the part that they're going to play the part that they play as the host is real important. So explaining the partnership, that I'm going to make this super easy, but I just want you to know that these are your friends. They're so excited to hear from you. You are the most important part of the party. So explaining that partnership, I'm going to be putting all this in for you. And then I'll just let you know what's important, to communicate with your friends, because they are the most important part of the party, to be with their friends, and they want to hear from their host. So for the most successful possible party in every way. So just kind of summing up host coaching and what it is. Before I go to the next slide, does anyone have any questions about host coaching so far on this slide? All right. So okay, it takes a little bit to pop up. So host coaching and why we do it. So the slide talking about what is host coaching and what are the benefits? Why should we host coach? So higher attendance. So that's going to be, some people are good with inviting, some people get it, some people might have done a party before, some people might actually be in direct sales, but some people don't really know how Facebook works and all these little things that Facebook has that we have to work around, and people aren't going to see your notifications or different ways to invite. So higher attendance can be something that someone doesn't understand, that they can get higher attendance with these things that we can help them with. So higher attendance is going to come with your host coaching, and higher sales. So when I think of higher sales, that's going to be definitely because you're going to have higher attendance with host coaching, but also with host coaching, you're going to give them different ways to communicate with their guests, not just, with the guests coming into the party with higher attendance. It's going to be, you're going to give them just step by step what they can do to connect with with their guests. And so yeah, higher sales with attendance, but also with reaching out that you're going to let them know that they can do with their guest. So more booking leads. So that definitely comes with host coaching and higher attendance, and more recruit leads. What I was thinking when I was reading this earlier, recruit leads, I don't think it really is, of course, higher attendance is just going to be overall, you're going to be able to reach more people, but also with host coaching, you're really going to work with your host about being interactive in our party. And so with the recruit leads that you can see in the party, I think that's going to help that you're going to start seeing more standouts in parties, I would say. If you have your host that you're really encouraging to be interactive with her guests, I think that's going to help with recruit leads because you're going to be able to see those stand out, more with an interactive party. So happy host equals referrals. So when that finally happened to me, that someone reached out and said, I have a friend that's wanting this, and I told her about you, and she would, and actually giving my number to someone, it was just a great feeling to know that someone had such a great experience that they, referred me to someone else. So making it easy for them, keeping that relationship going, and having a happy host equaling referrals is amazing. So relationships, so repeat hosts or new team members. So yeah, starting to build that relationship at the very beginning and just being in contact with them is going to really help build that relationship just all around. So example of your support. So relationship that could be someone that's on your team, and that's going to be a further relationship. So an example of support, I think of how you work with your host is going to be a great example of what they can think of joining your team. And if you're walking them through the host experience, they can picture you walking them through trying out the business. So if they have a good example and they felt comfortable and that you walked them through that, it really will be a great example of the support you can give if they decide to give the business a try. And then last on the list is example of how to do host coaching. This one really spoke to me a lot, and it really makes me try to check off, like the host coaching, we have an outline that we'll talk about in a later slide, but the outline, I love to be able to try and make sure I do every day and every task on there for myself, for the host, because if someone decides to give the business a try, I love that they could just jump into the business, being like, oh, okay, this is just what we do, and it makes sense to them because it's something they experienced with you. So I think it's great to have them experience that with you. So if they decide to join your team, it's just going to be something that feels natural. So yeah, so some why do it? The benefits of host coaching. So host coaching, so a couple different places for tools. So on Consultants Corner, there's some great host coaching tools. So when you set up your new party, you can look for host coaching tab on the top right of the screen. When you set up your party, so you're going to be able to click on the tab and you find a checklist for host coaching. So that can keep you on track. It talks about, it might not apply to every party, but it's a great way to keep track of things that you're doing for host coaching. And you can check them off when you're completed. Let's see. There's also a spot to compose and send emails to your host using the PC template or making your own. And also there's some great images you can share with your host, but you can also use to share in your party, in their virtual party. So yeah. So that's where you can find, there's a few areas you can find on Consultants Corner. And also, I love the host coaching tools in Team Freedom Tech and Social. If everyone's had a chance to check out all the tools, there's so many great documents in there. I barely have changed the host coaching document, maybe some words, but I just have been using that one for such a long time. So you can go, so virtual parties from start to finish, and there's the host coaching section, which I faithfully use for my parties. It helps keep me on track. And there's different host coaching outlines. You have ones for block parties, individual hosts, and individual host coaching together. So this could be what you're going to be able to send. Just you can copy and paste and change just a couple things for your host. Super simple, and it's really helpful to keep you on track with host coaching. So communication for hosts before, during, even, words that you can use to help. Like we'll see in another slide, that even talking about the business opportunity is just right there for you. It's just a great document for yourself and for your host. And use a script to start or adjust as you gain. So I was talking to Jill a little about it. I may have adjusted maybe pictures, but the outline to me is so great. I've adjusted a couple things now that I've gotten really familiar with the document, but it's really almost completely perfect the way it is. I just use that one, but maybe I'll change the picture here and there, some wording to make it sound like me. But so also host coaching outline allows you to be consistent, and it really does. For me, like I think the parties are like Friday, or I make a Friday party starting on a Friday, and it helps with the day. But if not, I make sure and change the day. But it's great to just look, this is what I'm doing this day and this day. So it really helps to be consistent with every party and with every host. I like using it because it just makes sense that not to skip anything. Every party, I just make sure. So yeah, it just definitely helps me with consistency. Move that over. Make sure I skip to the right one. So ask your host 5 times. I definitely wasn't doing this. I was lucky in the beginning to even do it 1 time. So I really embraced the asking your host 5 times. There's a couple things that stand out in my mind that made it make more sense to me. So part of host coaching is helping your host have the best possible experience and get all the host rewards. For many hosts, this includes deciding to join your team before, during, or after the party. Both flipping to a launch party and using the kit credit are an important part of host benefits. Make sure you're offering your hosts all their options. So that right there, talking about how like the kit credit or the option, I started thinking of it as host benefits. I wouldn't skip, I'm telling them that they're going to get all these products for free and discounted, and, the host special for the month. And so I just think of it as it's part of the host benefits, and I wouldn't want to let them miss out something that Pampered Chef has already set up, for them. So I just make sure and let them know all the benefits. And then, and then the words, the words are in the host coaching outline. So yeah, you don't even have to, I think we'll go into that in the next slide, but the documents does make it so easy for you to, I imagine you would make your own wording, but also it's just right there that you can use to copy and paste. So, so when would you ask? So asking host 5 times. So before the party, it says before the party, so here would be the example. Before we start, I did want to let you know that one of the benefits of hosting your own party is that it's easy. You can easily turn it into your launch party, meaning you would get, oh, there we go, put that down there. I am trying to move this thing around. I'm not used to moving it around. Now I think I have it stuck on the bottom. Cheryl, you know how I get this? I think I have it stuck on the bottom now.
Hey, Becky,
Yes.
are you trying to move like all of us around where you can
Yes.
reach it?
And now
Okay.
I think I have it stuck on the bottom,
Oh,
or maybe I don't.
I was gonna say, if you just want to click on that first line, it'll minimize everybody to just like, just a little nothing.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, because I'm moving it
And
around to
that-
read
I have-
everything.
yeah, and in
Okay,
that
yeah, I'll
way-
move that down. Oh, there we go. Okay, so before the party starts, so that would be the turning it into your launch party. I did want to let you know the benefits of hosting your own party is that I can easily turn this into your launch party, meaning you would get the host rewards plus the paycheck as well. Are you in the market for some extra income? So that's just even before you start the party, you just want to make sure that if this is something they're interested in, that they could have all the benefits, you know, like it says, the host rewards, the paycheck. So it's something great to find out in advance. But also I found if they say no, that's very common, especially because you don't want to put too much in your first message anyway. So it can be easy for someone to say no, not really, you know, getting into the party yet or knowing how it works. And so, but you definitely want to offer it. Of course, if they say yes, you can always screenshot that and send it to your director, and they can help you with what to say. If you get a yes right then, at any time, if you get a yes, I've done this with Jill all the time. If I get a yes, or if I have some, you know, something I don't know how to word, I will send that to Jill and she'll help me with the wording for that. So that would be your first time to ask. So then when guests start joining, so I was kind of intimidated by asking hosts every time in the beginning because especially when you get a no, I tend to back down, just worried that the no meant no. And but I love knowing that the comment that Jill's made, you're presenting new information. And I think that's real important to consider, that it's natural to say no if you don't know what to expect. So every time there's new information that you can give, it's a different way to talk about the business opportunity. So, and the next would be when guests start joining. So, wow, you have a lot of friends that have joined the fund and they seem to love PC. Are you sure you don't want to give this a try? It's not too late to turn this into your launch party. So I think that's great to let them know that they're having friends join, they're engaging, and the party hasn't started. They could still, you know, have the complete benefit of turning this into the launch party if they said no the first time. So you're giving them that new information that, you know, wow, your friends have joined and they seem to love PC. So that would be the second time. And the third time is when the party qualifies. So this is what I think of with, so says, your party just hit 200. That means you've earned host rewards. I know you said no already, which I love that that's acknowledging. I know you said no a couple times, but in case, you know, with this new information that you're giving them, in case you're giving the business some thought, because now they've had people join the party, they kind of have a feel for how it's going. So I wanted you to know that one of the rewards is $25 towards the kit. Here's a picture of the three. Which do you like the best? So this is part of the rewards. You wouldn't want to miss out on letting them know free product or 60% off. So you definitely, as soon as I like to celebrate, you know, every level. I'll send like a picture of where the host rewards are at, just kind of celebrating that they got to the next level. I think it's just a really fun way to encourage. So same with the kit credit. So as soon as they earn it, just celebrate, wow, you know, you've already started opening up host rewards. So just another way to talk about the kit. And now they might have thought about it because you have offered it to them a couple times. So the fourth way, as they are engaging, compliment. You are so good at this, you're basically doing my job. Or I do hope you're keeping the business at the back of your mind because you're so good at it. And compliments, I think, are great, of course, just all around, but a compliment if someone can't picture themselves doing it, I think the comment that you're basically doing my job is very true, that what they're doing now is something that they can carry over in their business and that you can see that potential. And I think that compliment is very helpful for someone, especially if they haven't told you that they're interested or you don't know, and they might just be thinking about it. That compliment could really, if there is that thought there at all, could be helpful to build confidence that this is something that they can do and they're doing it already. So 5, when closing the party. So this one I definitely don't want to miss because you're closing out everything. You're talking about the kit credit. And so it says, I know we've talked throughout the party about the business so far and you said no. I have to tell you that Sally and is blocking it a little bit, some words, and starting your business. Okay, so say you've had some bookings and the kit credit. So I love at the closing of the party that you just want to sum all this up for them and just make sure that one, this is part of your rewards and I don't want you to miss out before we close if there's something you thought about, or that they know that they have a couple friends that are interested, that you would love to give those parties to them, to your host, to get them off to a great start, not just off to a great start, but also them seeing there's potential in the business. So there are the 5 times. So get your host in it to win it. So I just definitely, to sum it up for me, would be just to help build that confidence in your host that you're going to be working with them throughout the party and you want to see success just all around in their party. So yeah. So now we're at the question part and I will try my hardest to get Cheryl to get the pictures back up. Do you know what does that? Let me see.
Sorry, go ahead and click stop share.
So stop share.
Yeah, stop share.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll
I hope
get through this.
So I didn't hope I didn't breeze through it too fast. But if you had any questions that came up, if any of us can answer them for you. Or if I missed anything.
That was great. You did a great job.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping I would go through it too fast reading the slides, but I am passionate about host coaching for sure. I wasn't doing it in the beginning. You can see the change just all around and how important it is. And I don't know if everyone's new, but I think it's just a great way. I wish I would have just known the information was out there and started in the beginning. Just, what does it say? Just do it. Just start out that way. Just be something that this is just what you do. This is host coaching is just huge part. So yeah.
So many times I've had somebody say to me that they just felt kind of robotic and they didn't feel like they had that warm, fuzzy feeling with the host. And I said, well, generally you make that connection when you're booking the party because that is all natural. I mean, that is all just like, it's all real. There's nothing really like robotic about that. You're kind of getting to know them and all that stuff. And then I said, you got to look at this like a user manual, or like if you start a new job, there's like the standard operating procedures. You want to follow along those to do the job right. And so it's the same way. And I said, and you can always tweak it. And it made them feel a little bit more comfortable when I said, just do it. Because if they have a great party because you're robotic, then everybody wins.
Yeah.
So another thing I would add, I'm just going to chime in there on what Cheryl said. Oh, sorry. So Natalie and I are here. The other thing to realize is that the host does only gets the message you're sending them. Like we send it a bunch of times, so it starts to feel kind of robotic, but on the receiving end of it, they're only getting one message from you, each time. So,
hands on the wheel, Jill. Hands on the wheel.
Don't look at
just
us.
pulling out.
Look at the road.
So I could do that. But anyway, because I think that's true. You know, we tend to not want it to be like too scripted and come across that way. But again, you got to realize the person that you're doing it with, they don't see you or like receive that same message going to 5 other hosts the way we are on the sending end of things. You know what I mean? So anyway.
That's a really good point, Jill, because that was something that I struggled with. You know, it gets repetitive. And even, you know, you start to feel like, didn't I do this before? Like, haven't I done this before? But also even with your parties, like, because my parties have gotten to where they all look pretty much the same because I use a template. And for me, it feels very repetitive, but I remind myself that they don't know that. They don't know that my other 4 parties that week have the same post going up.
They're still only seeing it one time, not
right. Yeah, exactly. So that is such a good point.
And another thing, well, and I like my outline is pretty much the same all the time too. Even if I've got like a host here and then somebody booked, I will change a few things just because if I know they're all in the same social circle. But
yeah, I change up like the games and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I don't play games. I'm so terrible about it. I do a few games, but
I only do a few too.
I'll change like a whole different day. Like last week, I don't even think I did Taco Tuesday. I slid in something completely different just to kind of change it up a little bit. So, you know, don't like I've been on some trainings where some people are so worried that they don't have a new outline. And I'm like, if you only saw mine 3 years ago, it would look very similar to what it looks like today, you know, minus the products that we don't have anymore or whatever, you know, but yeah. And Becky, I'll just ask you really quick. I don't want to take over, but do you do like the group host coaching? I know I do. I didn't know if you did group host coaching.
Like setting up a group.
I mean, I'm sorry, messenger, like group messenger.
Oh,
Sorry
I've really personally been doing, I've enjoyed setting up a group for my hosts.
Okay,
and
that's right.
And then talking about robotic, I was seeing myself sending the same things all the time. So I actually have the host coaching outline in SendShare now. So I don't want to make it unpersonal with talking to the host in Messenger, but I feel like I'm using Messenger for, you know, just connecting with them and just having that part of like, you know, checking in with them. So I've been doing that.
Gotcha. That's pretty neat. I've not tried that yet. I knew you did that, but I do.
Yeah.
I like bucked the system when I heard everybody saying, oh, you create a group message with all of your hosts. And I was like, no. And then I realized, yes, because instead of sending 6 messages, I'm sending 1, you know, or, you know,
Yeah.
one time. And so that really helped. And then they could kind of like, I like that thumbs up. See, every now and then, Jill, I have to buck the system. And then I realize maybe somebody was right. So, but I do find that helps a lot to just have everybody have your host together, and that way they can kind of like work, you know, like they can build like a little relationship for a week. It's kind of like going to camp.
Yeah. Everyone's doing the same thing that week, and the fun host side of it. And not that you want it to be competitive, but I think it's neat to see when they see other people putting a thumbs up that they've done a task. I think it can encourage, and seeing, you know, definitely encouraging one another to see that everyone's doing it. And
yeah, I don't do the challenge. I know some people will be like, oh, this party's at X amount of dollars. I'm like, oh, I don't want anybody to feel bad that their party might not have reached what this party did. So I'm like you. I
haven't put money either. I see that in there, but I haven't put money amount either. I just always like everyone's doing great. I'm like, everyone's doing so great.
Yeah, that's what I do. A little too quiet.
Well, and I was just going to say, even like I don't do block parties, and I coach one host at a time. That's just the way I'm doing it right now. And I've even found the thumbs up thing, like I just kind of added that in. And even just for me to know that they're engaged and paying attention is really nice. You know, and what I've gotten to is where I'll send them a message, and then once they thumbs up me back that they read that, you know, sort of initial message, then I send them like whatever the task is for that day, because I want to make sure
To
they're
not get behind and
paying attention
yeah.
and like they're engaged, and that has been making a huge difference.
Yeah, I found not moving too fast with host coaching if they're not getting to it, because you want to know they're engaged at the beginning of host coaching before giving them all these tasks that might feel like they're hard to complete. So yeah, I like the thumbs up or to see, before moving on, so it doesn't seem overwhelming if they get behind. And one thing I was thinking about with the outline, I don't know if I don't think I said this, but is it like the second to last day, there's something that talks about share your host experience?
Yeah,
in
it's the
party.
last day,
And
I think.
Yeah, and I was so intimidated by that because it really, when I first started host coaching and I wasn't feeling confident about it, I'd really like, gosh, you know, you want, it says copy and paste, like, you know, Becky made it so easy, and but it made me reflect. I'm like, have I made it easy? If I'm asking them to put this in the group, and so host coaching for that reason too. I wanted them to feel genuine. I always put copy and paste just because you want to make it easy, but I do put change any wording if you want for your own experience. I don't want them to think they can't change it up if, you know, for their experience. But yeah, that really made me check myself and say, I want them to copy and paste this, but feel like I did make it easy for them and they enjoyed it. So I like that part of the outline for myself too, to make sure that I'm doing a good job with host coaching.
Good question. Michaela's asking Becky, what if hosts aren't engaged? I know she's heard it from me, but I think that there's a lot of knowledge in here that can answer that one. So what if hosts aren't engaged? What
it's because you definitely, I came across this article, gosh, I should have put it, but it talked about, I mean, everything you say, you want to make sure and not make them feel bad about what they aren't, or, you know, what they aren't doing, because you don't know what's going on, you know, in their life. So I just definitely try to build up anything for sure. Or if I see they're not getting to something, I just always try to make it seem like they couldn't get to it. Like, oh, hey, I don't know if you saw that you can tag 5 friends, you know, this game would be great. And I know, of course, there's going to be, no matter what you do, someone's not going to engage. But I think just making them feel okay about it and not feel bad that they missed something and that they can, you know, still get to it. And, you know, one of those, well, big thing for me, we can't change what we didn't do. We can only, you know, try to do something different. So just making them feel that way too, that you didn't get to it. That's fine. Let's do this, you know. But I guess in the case of a host doesn't interact, of course, there's just at a certain point you can't, you know, but I really just like to build them up as being positive, and that it's no big deal if they miss something, or it's no big deal that they didn't have time, but just letting them know how they can do it. Because of course it's so important. You don't want to, if they don't have the time, we know that you have to make some time because the host is the most important person. So not being too passive about the task, but encouraging, because you just know, and you really want it to come across that it's so important, but not in a, you gotta do this, you know. So I just should try to build them up, you know, especially if they miss something, like build them up and be positive about it. And
I always try to like,
just compliment them for engaging. So to help, you know, further in the party. So.
Janine, you got anything on that?
A host
as far as like hosts that are not real engaged.
Yeah, we're doing Michaela's block party, and it's me and Michaela are but one of them's, I mean, they're just, you know, they're getting the messages, and I know Michaela's even had conversations outside of our group chat, and just a struggle to get them engaged. And the other thing that might be, and Michaela may agree with this, they're close friends, relatives type, those kind of people. So it's not like it's a it's like a host that you just met at a party. I mean, these are brand new, like it's her very first party that we're doing. And so we are kind of struggling. And so, just to get some involvement, some engagement, she actually did post, it was one of the host's birthdays, and she did a birthday post because she knew it was a birthday. I didn't know. And, there's people that were saying happy birthday, but it's like, just, comment on how you know somebody or any thoughts, guys, to kind of help us
Well,
out?
I think Facebook's been quiet, in general lately. And I don't know if it's people are staying off of Facebook because of all the political crap that's going on, or, if it's something, I don't know. Is it a block party, Cheryl?
It is a block party.
It is. And it's just the one host that's not participating?
No, it's both of it. Well, there's Michaela and two others. And
Okay.
Michaela, I guess you're okay if I talk about this because this will help us. The two ladies that are involved, that are the hosts, are kind of like not her biological mother, but just like close enough to be, she would like call a mom, you know what I'm saying? Like it would be like her mom's good friends, and that's, so they're all really close. And so, you don't want to like hack somebody off or anything, you don't want to get like snippy with them because they're going to be around your life. So, but yeah, it's a block party. And one of them's kind of like, she had a lady passed away that she was friends with. And so we kind of like blessed and released that one kind of out of the group for a little bit, but they both have a lot of social connections. I mean, really big areas that they could, really like real estate and a motorcycle club, like it's a good motorcycle club. And I know some of y'all aren't from here, but and then one of them works at the school. So there's lots of potential, like a lot of potential. But our hands are kind of tied. I mean, we just don't. Michaela lives in Florida now, not here anymore. And so it's just kind of I don't know.
So, yeah.
And engaging posts aren't really what, like the engaging post that asked a question or.
I'm trying to think if we did any games. I think we might have done a couple, but like, cause I don't do a whole lot of games, but
is it the host is it the party that's quiet, like the participation is down, or the host is being
the whole thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the two kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah,
right?
That's a great example. Yeah, that the two go hand in hand. If a host is kind of, the guest
just
themselves.
click over the button top right.
I mean,
there's a button for the south.
I've gotten to the
above
point
the keyboard.
I've gotten
like
to the point where I will ask a host, like, "Hey, is everything all right?" Or is this not a good time, turning out to not be a great time for you to have a party, or I mean, because like Becky touched on, we don't always know what's going on. Now in this case, Cheryl, you've got a little bit of insight into this person's life that you wouldn't normally have, but I mean, I had a host one time that was like, kind of engaged, like half engaged, half not. And I got a message from her one night, during the party, that she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm at the hospital with my mom. I've been for 3 days and she's dying." And I'm like, what, why,
Oh.
why are you having a Pampered Chef party right now? Like, what? But it totally explained why she was a little less engaged than she had been the last time she hosted with me, So, I don't know. That's what I do is I'll, if it gets real bad, I'll just throw it out there like, "Hey, is everything all right?"
Yeah. We'll work on it.
I don't know. Sorry, Jill might have some more brilliance for you.
I don't know how we could hear Jill talking, but her phone, it's on
was
mute.
muted. Yeah.
And it was like, wow, that's amazing. And they're still talking.
Wait, yeah, you're muted, Jill, but we can still hear stuff.
I wonder if it's a service
Well,
thing.
now we can. Oh, now we can. Oh,
Okay.
now it's echoing.
Oh,
She's got two things.
Okay,
That's what-
can you hear now?
yes.
Oh, she's
yeah.
down at the bottom right. I
Yeah,
didn't see.
yeah.
I didn't see your
Oh.
phone.
Okay, so what happened was what happened was
What had happened
Oh,
was,
we have it on my laptop, but the volume was super low, so like we could barely hear you. Natalie was like listening, putting her ear to it. So I finally got it on my phone, so now we have the sound in the truck, like in the speakers. So that's why we're on there twice, and we were muted on the laptop, but not muted on the phone. So
yeah,
that was a little bit of
I didn't see your other Jill Johnson.
something. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So now we can hear you. But no, I mean, I think, everything you guys were saying that I could hear, for sure, like Janine's last one about just checking in with them. And is everything okay? Is it still a good time? Give them an out, because if it's not a good time or something's going on, they often won't say anything, like Janine's host that was at the hospital. Now, sometimes they'll be at least a little bit engaged like she was. Sometimes they totally ghost you, but for some reason they think ghosting you is nicer than telling you they can't have a party, which doesn't make any sense, but that's still what happens. So, if you introduce the idea, because the reality is you might be worried about them saying, yeah, I don't want to have a show, or this isn't a good time. But the fact is you're going to end up not with a show anyway. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to let them off the hook, because if that means that they reschedule for another time, which they might be more inclined to do if they feel like you were really understanding about it, it's going to be a better show. Whereas if you just carry on and they're still not engaged or responding, you're probably not going to have much of a show out of it anyway. So you're not really losing anything by giving them an out. But at least then
one of
they
them's
can feel better about
qualified.
it. And what's that?
One of them's qualified so far. So we're
Well, that's good.
Well, the good thing is, I just messaged Michaela and I was like, I hope you're okay with me kind of like just because I'm like, I need to pull in some, some help here. But one of the hosts isn't like really excited about having a $200 party, which I was like, good, okay, good. That will, let's work on, moving her a little bit into the, go back to those host coaching things and, maybe kind of like one-on-one, just get with her and get her to do a couple of, do this one today and just kind of get back into doing a little bit more. So
I mean, and if you can get a feel for why they're not engaging, is it because they don't really care and there aren't really products they want anyway? Is it because sometimes I don't think they realize, in fact, most cases, they don't realize how much of a difference it makes for them to be engaged. They just kind of feel like, oh, well, I'm going to have this party and there's a link and people will order. And they don't realize that the things, their participation, the things that you send them to post or encouraging them to interact with their friends, that really is important. So, on the one hand, if they don't really have a lot of motivation from the host benefits, we might be able to help on that side. And one of you guys might have already talked about this as far as like, well, what do you want to get from your show? What are you going to use your 60% off for? You know what I mean? To get them excited and get some motivation, like what's in it for them to put the effort into that. And then on the other side of it too, is trying to get across to them the message, the point of how important it is, like what a difference it can make. One of the things that I've heard some people do, and I think this was from Steve Drapolsky, who is like wildly successful in every area of his business, honestly, but certainly in virtual parties, is he puts them into a show that was a successful one, like an old show that, where the host was really engaged and participating and it was a great show, and, like invites the host to it as an example. Okay, so this is the show, and you could say, it was Janine was the host, kind of scroll through and see how she was interacting with her guests to give, so that you can say, and this person ended up having a $1,500 show. And, a lot of that just has to do with the fact that the host was, doing these things. So, that can be a way to kind of make the point with them that it does matter what they do. So if they're motivated, because, Cheryl, you're talking about someone with a $200 show, at least it's qualified, but ideally your hosts aren't satisfied with that. And they're like, oh no,
right,
man, I want more than that. And so that can be a motivator, at that point. But then but then they also, it helps if they really recognize that doing the stuff that you're asking them to do is for a reason. It's not just because you feel like telling them what to do, but it's for their benefit, and it will make an impact on the show. And
good,
so,
thank you.
Yeah.
Kayla says.
I have a
thank you, too.
question on the same thing. I'm having a party, the same thing right now. She's not engaging at all. We've been messaging back and forth, and she says she's gonna go on and she's gonna do it. And is there a way to see, like how many times people have been into the party to see who's looking at it even?
I don't think just looking at it, you can see the times that they've commented. If you search on their name, like go into the party group and search on their name, it'll bring up the times that they posted or commented. So you can look at that. You can't, I don't think there's any way to see just like what they, you know, how many times they actually looked at something, other than if you can look at a post and it says, you know, 20 people saw that, and then you can look at the names of those people. You know, you could do that on individual posts, but other than that, I think the only thing that shows up in like group insights or by searching on their name would be when they've more actively posted or commented.
Okay, because I think Janine and I are like the only ones commenting on this party, so.
Yeah.
I honestly think Facebook is, I mean, and I'm not trying to like, I'm not trying to give them a like scapegoat or anything, but it's it's just very odd. It's just being, I'm seeing it from my VIP side. You know, sometimes I'll go live and normally I'll have like 3 or 6 people that'll be like all over it. And then like 2 or 3 people looking at it. And I'm like,
I'm getting the same thing. I'm getting like a really low view on thing where it doesn't even make sense, like 4 or 5. And yeah, that's changed.
Yeah,
unless
even if
that's actually how many people are viewing it, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I went live in the party. I don't know if it was whichever one it was, and it was like I never go live in a party and nobody see it. It's so
that happened to me too. No one got on at that time, but then also my views were really low, and that's usually the most views you get are your lives. And I was surprised. Past couple party, my lives were really low.
I think maybe an idea, everybody. I think maybe one of the ideas we really need to work with is getting our host to send out the shopping link. One thing I've been doing the last few days, and I know, you know, I'm working with guest and host from, you know, this year, last year, or whatever, but I did something today that all of us can do. And I went through my phone, through my contacts, because, you know, my phone is like it's my other Bible, right? So it has all like friends and, you know, customers, but family and just anybody in it. And I've gone through my phone and sent text messages to lots of people asking them if they just want to see a catalog, because I'm not asking them for orders because I'm like not, you know, like trying to host and get orders and stuff like that. But I mean, that's my end game for this, but it's simple, like a message that says, hi, Ann, it's Cheryl. I hope you're doing good. And this is somebody that I know, so I didn't really need to have to say Cheryl Wyatt or with Pampered Chef. But I hope you're doing good. It's been a while. I wanted to check in and see how your products are doing. Of course, she's ordered from me before, but is also a friend. And then I said, and those grandbabies. But would you be interested in receiving a copy of our new catalog? I'll be happy to mail one to you. And so if I have somebody that I don't know that have ever ordered from me, I might say something like, you know, the same thing, but just kind of take out how are your products doing? And I've gotten a lot of response, you know, over the last couple of days that I've been sending that. Like yesterday, I was going through everybody that I had marked in my phone that they were a PC customer or a host. But these are just all these other people are like friends of mine or acquaintances, you know, just people that I've got in my phone. And, you know, you could say, all right, great. Here's the virtual catalog for those that don't want to spend $2 on mailing a catalog. You can simply send your virtual catalog link. But I've had a lot of responses. I did it Thursday and got an overwhelming number. And I did it today. I wasn't sure how Monday would do, but I did it earlier, Becky, when you were talking, sorry. But I was doing a little extra work while we were working and got like 5 people responded to me, and it was 7 o'clock at night. So just, I think we need
you know what, Cheryl, I love that idea. And you know what you could do is use the holiday minis. The holiday minis are really cute. They're less money up front to buy and they're less money to mail.
And we don't have
you
them
know,
anymore. They're not out there anymore.
The holiday minis are not available?
I did a supply order 2 days ago.
Oh, they sold out?
Yeah, they
Oh
sold
my
out.
goodness. Do they still have the regular fall minis?
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
going
those
to
would work
those.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because those would work too. But you
Yeah.
know, because it's a lot of money to buy full-size catalogs and then mail
Yeah.
them like to everybody. But definitely, you know, those minis are very reasonably priced and they're just one stamp to mail, so they're not
Yeah.
bad. And it's just a great way to kind of connect with somebody. And like you said, you're not asking them for anything. You're not saying, hey, do you want to have a party or buy something? You're just offering them something, but it's opening the door to maybe some conversation. Because then the people that do want it, you send it to them, and then maybe a week later you check in and say, hey, what caught your eye? Was there anything that you know, you thought would be
Exactly.
cool or whatever? So you know, then you've got a reason to follow up and have a a little bit more to talk about with them.
Yeah, and to make sure when you send out those messages, when they respond, write it down. So everybody this was the ones that are highlighted are just the ones from when we were on tonight. So that's like 7 people wanted a catalog. The ones I'm sending a full catalog to are people that's ordered from me before. So I kind of am like, okay, I made a little, some commission off of that. I'm gonna send them a big a full catalog, but all the other ones are gonna be the minis. So, but yeah, it's just to connect with them, just say, hey, and like I said, if nothing else, if you don't have a mini catalog, you can ask, we can show you where to find a link and you can put that in a text message or a Facebook message. But I'm doing everything through text message right now. And the responses are insane. I'm not messing with Messenger. I'm not really messing with Facebook except to run my parties but my communication with the outside world is through text message right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to rattle.
No,
That's great idea. Becky, thank you so much for doing our Monday Movers tonight.
Yes,
You did an
thank you,
awesome
Becky.
job for you. It was your first time and you never would have
Yes, however, thank you everyone for letting me. Yeah, thank you for being part of it.
Absolutely.
Great job.
So, okay, guys. Thank you for everybody that got on. And I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
All right.
So thanks again. You guys have an awesome week. And we'll talk soon. Yeah?
Yeah.
Bye,
thank you.
everyone.
Drive
We're gonna drive
carefully.
to Tennessee. Thanks. Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Go ahead and end the meeting. Unless you can hold on. Janine might stay on. I don't know. No, she got enough. Okay. All the time she nice.